We gather here today and for the next few weeks during the season of Lent, a season of giving up things that we feel are stopping us from being close to God, or to some, it's just a second New Year's resolution. I heard a story last week when I was eating soup from Jerry Court that he had read in the Star Telegram. It was about a 13-year-old girl that had raised a blind show cow that sold for only $8,000, about $24,000 under the average for the next lowest cows. The cow's name was Oatmeal. Her owner was Kendall Williams. Kendall gave up her time to prepare a cow that most people would have given up on. Every day, she would walk in Oatmeal's stall and comfort him and talk to him until he was so used to her, if he heard her or even smelt her, you could just physically see him relax. Sadly, Kendall gave up someone that she had worked with for months. We try to give up things during this time that we think of most likely as a distraction, that we feel is hindering us from being as close to God as we want to be. In the book of Joel, chapter 2, verses 12 through 14, it says, "Even now, declares the Lord, return to me with all your heart, with fasting and weeping and mourning. Rend your heart, not your garments. Return to your Lord your God, for he is gracious and compassionate, slow to anger and abounding in love. He relents from sending calamity. Who knows, he may turn and relent and leave behind a blessing, grain offerings and drink offerings for your Lord your God." I think that Kendall is a perfect example for these verses because she gave up a friend, which we all know is hard, especially if you are as close as she was to Oatmeal. I know how she felt and is probably still feeling. I lost my grandfather about 2 years ago, so now every time me and my family goes up to Minnesota, I feel like the room is super empty compared to how it felt like before. Afterwards, you don't eat much because of the sinking feeling in your stomach. You cry and weep when you think of the good times you spent with them, and how you remember even the months and years and maybe even decades after. Kendall tore her heart and soul out trying to raise Oatmeal with a tender, compassionate touch that had to be slow to anger and abounding in love, because Oatmeal would not react to rough attempts to move him. But who knows? God may look down on Kendall and bless her for helping such a tender soul such as Oatmeal with kind and caring gestures. So as we go through this Lenten season, trying to remember